How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Wolves Den. I'm your host Victor, and today I'm going to be revisiting Rob Zombie's 31. Okay, now why am I revisiting this horrible movie? It's because after I watched it that other night, and those of you who saw the review know how I feel on it, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Literally, it kept replaying over and over in my head. And I just kept saying, not saying to myself, I kept thinking to myself, I like this movie more than I appeared in my review, which I stick by my review, by my words, by my expression, by my grade. If those of you who watch that, which I suggest that, since that's the actual review, I gave it a D. And I think that's a very justifiable grade. It is a very low quality movie, honestly. But for some reason, it just kept resonating in my head. And if you watch my review, I mentioned how a buddy watched it before me and mentioned how it was okay. Me and him were talking about this movie, and we were both recognizing how it's horrible. But for some reason, to both of us, we were very interested in it for some reason. And we couldn't know why, but we were interested. He's a big Rob Zombie fan. This is actually, other than the Halloween 2007 remake, this is my first Rob Zombie movie. You know, other than that remake. And Halloween 2 from 2009. So that's literally it. I haven't seen any of his other movies, which I really do, just because when it comes to horror movies, even though his aren't the highest quality, it is a good change of pace for just flat out, you know, grindhouse, bloody gore, all that kind of stuff, just for the mix. If you're not into that, you know, that's you. We all have our taste and stuff, but just nothing of entertainment. So I rewatched this, and here's the special features. That's literally it. It's just a making of the film. It's 2 hours and 11 minutes, I think, if I remember right. I watched that. That was pretty interesting. And then a commentary by Rob Zombie, and it's got some like a couple little minor things, but those are the main things. I haven't rewatched the movie yet with the commentary. I'm interested in doing that to see what he says as the movie's playing. But I did watch the making of, the whole thing. That was actually cool. And from an educational standpoint, to see how these movies are made, the whole production process, how grueling the principal photography was, potentially. And I enjoyed watching that. It was really intriguing, the principal photography aspect of things. That's all the production was that. Or this special feature. It was just that. There wasn't the pre-production or post-production stuff. But it was cool. And the reason why I'm revisiting this movie to make a second video is to just speak on it more. Because, as I said a couple minutes ago, I stand by what I say in my review. What I said and how I said it, along with my grade. But this movie, like, it deserves an audience. It kind of does. Like, I'm not gonna be, you know, watching the ever-living shit out of this. I'll watch it during the Halloween season, and if me and my buddy were to be like, hey, you wanna watch some, you know, bloody violence, something stupid, you know, maybe then too. Because it's not that great of a movie. But I think it deserves an audience. I think it does. I think it deserves to, you know, get bought. I think it deserves a little recognition for the potential that it has. Because, as I said in my review, the concept for this movie was great. If components about this movie were tweaked in some way, shape, or form, this could be great. This really could be great. Like, if all the acting was on par with Richard Brake, his character is called Doomhead. If every actor was on par with what he brought to the table, this could have been awesome in that aspect. It could have been, you know, stepped up another notch. Story could have been tweaked a little bit. The story wasn't too bad in the sense that it was completely incoherent. You know, it just needed a little bit of work. The main thing that sucks about this movie is that they were only able to get 20 days scheduled to do the shooting. That's a horrible amount of time. Like, wow. And that's what, you know, that special feature, the making of, goes all about that. You know, the grinding of 20 days of doing all those scenes that make up this movie. Studios weren't backing it up. He had to get crowdfunding twice because nobody was backing it up. And I blame the combination of those two as the primary reasons why this movie ended up being as bad as it was. If it was able to get some form of a backing from some form of studio, doesn't matter who, it could have been potentially decent and like respected, honestly. The vision that Rob Zombie has is awesome. It really is. There's just a lot wrong with it. But there's, like I keep going back to, myself and my buddy both, for some reason, just have a lot of interest in this movie, and we don't know why. We recognize it's horrible. Like, it's bad. Don't go, if you do see this movie, don't go into it expecting a masterpiece. You will be disappointed and pissed off then. Go into it expecting just violence, like a typical Rob Zombie movie. It has an interesting setting. Well, it has a creepy setting for what, you know, the movie is focused on. That was cool. The villainous roles were interesting. They were a very interesting take on what this movie was doing. One thing I think should have been different was Richard Brake. If you look on the cover, he's at the very top right there. If he was in the movie more, it would have been a lot better. If oh man, if the rest of the movie stayed on par with the opening monologue that he did, that would have been a hell of a lot better. He has an opening monologue that is amazing. It is so great. It is an intro that you want to a horror movie. When I went into it blind the other night, that monologue was happening, and I was like, oh shit, I'm in for something awesome. And then as the movie was going on, I was like, fuck yeah, this is a stupid movie. But it was still just, for some reason, like, it's like, I gotta put this as a guilty pleasure, honestly, unless when I watch it again, I end up, you know, hating it then. But until then, I'm probably gonna label it as a guilty pleasure for myself. But yeah, no, I do advise, you know, I'm not gonna say to buy it. I would only say that if it's one of like those amazing movies, you know, go out and buy it. Not in this case. I'm not gonna say to buy it. What I will say though is, it's interesting to have. If you do buy it, it is worth it because, again, these special features are very intriguing to watch. They really are. But I will say, do rent it at least, judge it from there, and then buy it if you feel your judgment is intrigued enough to want to maybe own this and watch it again. And seriously, pay attention to Richard Brake. He is Doomhead. He is that guy. He is the intro. He does this opening monologue, and then he comes in later in the movie. If anything positive does come from this movie, it should be some form of recognition to him about his role. I don't care if he wins an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, but what he does with that character needs to be recognized, in my opinion. It is an amazing job that he did. He was creepy, he was maniacal, he was so cool. There was a hint of Joker potential. There was a hint of Joker. It wasn't quite there, but there was a hint of Joker with a couple of the things he did. It was kind of cool, but he needs to be at least respected for what he did in his role. But again, I stand by my review video. I do just for some reason I like it and recognize that it is horrible. It's a bad movie, but I like it, and I want to see more Rob Zombie movies now. I do. My friend told me that I'm kind of lucky that this is like my first real experience other than the Halloween movies. That way I can like see what's better from here on. So again, you guys need to watch this movie. You can just Redbox it or find it somewhere else. It doesn't matter. I do think you guys need to watch it. Honestly, if you do watch it and it interests you enough, do buy it. I would love to. I would love for Rob Zombie to get another chance at something along these lines. Hopefully, get more funding. You know, he needs another chance to get something right. He didn't have enough help. Honestly, he busted his ass to make this movie. He just didn't get enough monetary help, and that's not totally his fault. It's partially his fault, but it's not 100% his fault. It sucks though. It is what it is. But again, though, do watch it. And let me know what you think down below in the comments. Seriously, I want to know what you guys think. If you have watched it, criticize it if you want to, because I already have, and twice now. I just needed to revisit it because of my redone thoughts as far as sticking with what I said in my review, along with being interested in it. So let me know down below what you think of the movie if you've seen it. Let me know down below if you're going to see it. Let me know if you're not going to see it. Let me know if Rob Zombie can kiss your ass or if you're a big fan of him. Let me know what your favorite Rob Zombie movie is. I'm interested in all that down below. But until next time, you guys take it easy.